Man or mind, or as we call it, indriya, inner senses. We have so many confusions about it. What are the outer senses, what are the inner senses, and how actually can we understand and how actually we can use them productively in this life. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has taught so many things there about man, about the mind. He took all of that information from Upanishad. In Upanishad, again and again, man, chitta, buddhi, ahankar, the interpretation and explanation of it repeats. But today in this video, I'm going to compress all of that, make it compact in simple words so that everyone can learn and they can understand. We can't be scholars like all those rishis, right? But still, in the simple language, we can understand. And when we understand the concept, then we can research in the Shastra and we can develop our understanding, right? So today we will talk about the senses, okay? The senses. So there are two senses. One is the outer. So outer senses are your body parts, this is skin and everything. Okay, eyes, nose, tongue, and ears, skin, all of that. The 10 indriya, I have taught you many times before. They are the outer senses. Now then, there is this soul. Just understand one thing. Soul and God, only these two can have desire. Only these two can have that wish. Only they can wish. Your mind never wishes anything, okay? So the wishes are coming from here, from the soul. Now between them, now the problem is that soul is Chetan, as we call the conscious one. These are physical body parts, this physical body. Now the problem is that soul cannot interact with these physical body parts, and to connect to the outer world, Prakriti, soul needs to connect with these body parts, and from these body parts it can connect with Prakriti, with environment and everything. Now there is the problem. That is where problem starts. How soul can interact with something which is completely materialistic? Soul cannot. So God created man, or just write down man, because they say it mind, but actually it is not mind. Mind is not the right word basically. Okay, so man is man. Mind is not the right word for it. Okay, so God created man. We call that, okay, man is the medium. So soul connects to man and it connects to the body parts, this physical body, and then we receive the information from our environment, from the surroundings. I hope the concept is getting clear to all of you. Soul is there. Soul is connecting to the man, and man is connecting to our physical body, this outer body, and then this outer body is connecting to the environment and receiving informations. So if soul wants to know what is the temperature here, we have to feel it with the skin. How we will feel it? So soul will ask to man that you find out what is the temperature in this area. Man will talk to skin and then will find out what is the temperature. Okay, if it's hot, cold, or what. So basically what is happening, there is this chain system, but in general we say this is just man, but it is not just man. Okay, there are 4 divisions of it. There are 4 divisions of it. Okay, so soul is here. Okay, or let me draw it in a different manner so you will understand better. We divide this man in the 4 parts. So this is soul. Just near to soul, there is, in English let me write down so you will understand better, aham. Okay, so there is ahem, or in Hindi write down like this. So there is aham or ahamkar, we call it ego. We also call it ego, or we call it self-realization, because it is so close to soul. There are 4 divisions of man, and because this division is so close to soul, so here we actually realize our soul. You know, you are too close to someone, you just start feeling like they are one with you. You start adopting their qualities. So because this ahem is so close to soul, so it is the place where we realize our true existence. Okay, these are just the 4 divisions of man, because you know that soul is connecting to man is connecting to the physical body parts, and they are connecting to the environment. But now what is the mechanism inside this? How the mind is designed? Okay, so that is we are understanding in a deeper way, in detail. Okay, then after ahem there will come chitta, or chitta. Okay, so it is chitta. Now what is chitta? Chitta can be what you call the paper sheet, you call it paper, or drawing sheet. The better word will be here, drawing sheet. I will give you easy examples so that even you can teach it to your children. Okay, so drawing sheet. Now why I am calling it drawing sheet, I will just explain you. Then come here buddhi, simply you call it brain, the analytical one. And then there is mind or man. Yes, this whole we call antahkaran. In general layman language we call it man. But now you will be like, then why here is man? Because this all is not called man. In layman language we just say that. Okay, but what is the actual word? Antahkaran. Now, antkaran means the asset or resource. Antah means inner, the inner resource. This whole is inner resource. What is it? Write it down. It is visible. Okay, so write it down, the inner resource. So this complete system is called the inner. They are outer resource. Outer resource. And this is inner resource. And for whom these resources are working? There is a car, there is a house, they are for the human. The same way, the outer resource, this body, the inner resource, the antahkaran, they are for soul. Okay, this is I, me, you, whatever you say, this is the soul. Who am I? I am the soul. Who are you? You are the soul. Okay, so soul, that is the true identity we have. That is who we actually are. Is this mind? Is this me? No, it's not me. It's a resource I am having to do my task on this planet, in this materialistic world, in this universe. Is this body? Is this me? No, this is not me. This is just an outer resource I have to work on this, in this universe, on this plane. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone. Now we said there are 4 resources. You can write down your notes, you can pause the video and you can write everything. I will just erase so I can make it simple, and then we can study it. Okay, do not forget to make your notes. Yeah. Now we will see that how exactly it is working. So here is aham. Today we will just forget this. We will not focus on aham. Okay. We will focus on the second one, which is chitta, chitta, and we will focus on the brain or buddhi, and we will focus on the mind or man. Okay. Now buddhi, man, chit, aham. Okay. Now from here we'll move. So our mind, the man, the actual man we have, that mind, it analyzes everything. So the outer senses, our skin and all the 5 Gyanendriya and Karmendriya, the senses of knowledge by which we receive knowledge or information by which we receive, and the senses of work, okay, by which we do action, by which we do karma. These all senses, they gather information from the surroundings. So from my ear, I listen to you when you give me 2 choices, that is it day or is it night in India right now? You ask me that question, is it day or night in India right now? Now I receive the questions. So my ears, they are not doing anything. My mouth is not telling you anything. My ears are only receiving the information. So the question, this is a good example. One student asked the question that what is it day or night in India? The question went to man, okay, from ears. So basically what is happening, that so here are ears, okay, and the question came here, question came to my ears, and my ears, they passed the information to man. Now man said, okay, so we have received this question like 2 options here. So man said, okay, is it day or night in India right now? That is the information we have got. Now man will send this question to buddhi, brain. The information will go to your brain, okay. Now then brain will process it. Brain will process it, that okay, is it day or night? So brain will contact to eyes. Brain will ask again, another information will come. So brain will again ask to man, the mind, that see around you, can you see sun out there or moon? Is it day or night in India? What you see in the clock, what you see on your mobile screen or laptop screen. So ears gave the question to man, and man again gave the question to brain to give the answer. But brain is like, I do not have sufficient information right now. I need more information on this. So again it asks man that use eyes and see around what is there. Eyes again tells man that okay, it is night in India. Okay. Now the information that I cannot see sun, it is dark all around, everyone is sleeping around. So man receives that information. Eyes are telling everything. Everyone is sleeping around. There is dark. Sun is not present anywhere. Still, Man is not capable to know whether it is day or night in India. So all this information man again sends to brain that see, eye has gave me this information. Now you decide and tell me whether it is day or night. So the brain decides that okay, it is at night. As per the information received from the senses, I can say that it is night in India. Then brain gave that answer to man again. Now then the man, your mind, gave the information to mouth, or in detail we can go to tongue, and then or basically to vata, the prana, and then the voice comes out that okay, it is night. When you think that, oh, someone asked me a question, I quickly answered, no, it is not happening quickly. There is so much process going behind. Okay? Now, basically what I want to tell you, I hope this concept is clear that how the body, the inner resources are working. Okay? I hope this is clear. If anyone has any doubt, please write in the comment section and we will discuss that later. Okay? Now, just understand one thing here. The task for man, its duty, its job is only to receive information. Write down here. Mind or man has only duty to receive information from the outer body organs, outer senses. It only receives or gives the information. It does nothing else. It is neutral. So when someone says that my man was saying this, no, man cannot say anything to you. Your mind cannot say anything to you. It is always neutral. Always it is neutral. Okay? I hope we are clear on this point. Man or your mind can never take any decision. Never ever. There is no exception. This is just what the information is coming. Okay? And by the surrounding the noise you can understand it is night in India. So many dogs are barking around, right? Okay. Now the brain does only job to make the decision. Whatever information is received by the senses, these outer senses, they send it to man, to the mind, and the mind sends the information to brain. And then brain is the one which takes the final decision, the final judgment. And that judgment, whatever that is, that doesn't just come out. That information doesn't just come out. It creates one samskara or impression over your chitta. This is the third section here. This is the third section, always neutral. But this is where the samskara is storing. Now let's understand samskara from different example. Someone told you or your senses told you, wow, that book is so good. It is such a beautiful book. Now you steal that book. Your brain tells you, yeah, book is good. No one is saying, just steal it. Just steal and run away. You decided that, but when you did that, a negative, a pap samskara was stored in chitta. Okay, stealing. Now, again second time, the same situation happened and your brain decided to steal again. Again, one samskara is here. Again, stealing samskara is here. So that now third time or fourth time when you found yourself in the same situation, same environment, your chitta, this samskara will affect your brain. This samskara will affect your brain to take the decision to steal. You must say, you must ask this question that, okay, Acharya, mind is neutral, it is just receiving information from the outer senses and giving information back to them. The brain is the one taking the action, taking the decision. But how the brain is capable to take decision? The brain is capable to take decision based on the samskara stored in your chitta. Whatever samskara is stored, so you do action, you do some physical action, you say something, you think something, you do something physical. Whatever action is taken by you, whatever karma is done by you, that action, that karma, it leaves one samskara, one impression in your chitta. Just like when you open some application in your mobile, the information leaves that application, it leaves one impression in your cache memory. Where? In your cache memory. The same way, this is the cache memory here. Okay, this is the cache memory here. So all that karma you are doing, they are leaving samskara in the chitta. Now what we are doing on the name of healing? We are working on the body. Is the problem there? No. Now these samskara, they are not just affecting your decisions, but also they are mixing in the bloodstream. On the genetic level, they are reprogramming your genes and they are creating disease in you. So the disease are also coming from here. Now on disease I will go in detail in the course, because there we will understand there are some other factors also in detail, how these samskara can create disease in your body. Okay, so many influences are happening because of this. And if soul is pure, yes, soul is pure, but if the chitta is impure, if there are evil samskara, if there are bad samskara, whatever soul will say will go from here to the brain, and then from brain to the mind, and from mind to the outer senses. So whatever, no matter how pure soul is, but because the chitta is impure, whatever instruction is coming from soul will get impure. And that is, the soul is the one taking all decisions. But because the chitta is impure, the soul or the brain are not capable to take right choices. That is why in the Vedas, in the Vedic darshan, Vedic philosophies, Rishi specifically focuses on cleaning our chitta, the cache memory we have in our antahkaran or the inner resources. Okay. So this is something very important. When someone says that Acharya, this child was born at that particular date, time and place, and I have created a numerology chart of this child or astrology chart of this child, or I have seen the palms of this child. That is all impression of this. Your horoscope, no one has ever told you this. This is something you must write in bold letters in your notebook. Okay, never forget this. This is the nectar, amrita, from all this complete class. This is the essence of it. Whatever you have in your horoscope, where the planets are placed, what numbers you have in numerology chart, or what lines you have by birth in your palms, that all is just a presentation of all the samskara from past life stored in chitta. From all your past life, you have stored so many samskara. And Rishi says that only God has the capability to know our karmashaya. Where is karmashaya? You must have asked yourself this question many times. But there is cache memory. We don't have to go to karmashaya. We don't have to see where is our karmashaya is your karmic account. Okay. So we don't have to go there. We don't have to see that. We have the cache memory here. All the samskara are here. So we can know if someone is really rude, someone is ruthless. It means the person has done some karma in past life which created samskara to be ruthless. I hope it is clear to you. We will understand this concept in detail in the class, and you can enroll in the course of Vedic healing or Vedic astrology or Vedic numerology or back to Vedic roots. In all the courses, almost the same concept is taught as the basics. Bless you.